Let's give a warm round of applause as we welcome Roshni Das. As Vice President, Global Marketing, Innovation and India Marketing, Roshni is known for her transformative strategies that have reshaped Intel's marketing efforts across Asia Pacific. Her leadership exemplifies the powerful convergence of creativity and technological prowess. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, Roshni. Thank you so much for joining us. Roshni, of course, you've been a strong advocate for women in tech through initiatives like Intel's Being Wise and STEM mentorship programs. If you could just quickly, Roshni, tell us, how have these experiences also in a way shaped your journey as a leader?
First of all, thank you. What a wonderful initiative. Thank you for having us here. As I listen to so many inspirational women, I find that every story is so personal, right? And every achievement is so inspirational. And I think what I'm taking away personally is eventually we have the responsibility of paying it forward. We have to be as the change we want to see, right? Your question on
how those initiatives have shaped your journey, actually, doing the work, doing this sort of, where you're paying it forward and creating these initiatives it's a tech is a male-dominated space too, so how has that shaped your journey?
Yeah. So two parts to it. I think personally, I come from a really traditional background. I didn't even know whether I would be here, in the sense for us it was to be married and, the rest is history. So one of the things I tell most young women is focus on your right to education, focus on your right to economic independence, and then if you're lucky, focus on finding the right partner, So once you have that, I think life really becomes a little easy because you've got the right support ecosystem. How does it translate, closer to work life? I think a few initiatives that we're very conscious of, right? For every simple things, like in interview panels, for instance, when we are interviewing, we always have a woman panelist in the interviews because, unconsciously, if you don't have that, bias can creep in when you're bringing women into the fold. That's one. Second is Intel has this wonderful policy where we don't actually look at the pay slip you draw today. Somebody was talking about pay parity, gender pay parity. We achieved it in 2019. Where we actually look at, for that role, for the number of years of experience, regardless of what your pay package is today, we pay what you should be drawing for that scope and job. So I think that, these little things help. The other pieces, I think, is just 2-3 things. I think personally, as you evolve and as a leader, be a player and a coach. So some bit is coaching, some bit is playing. Because if you play with the team, I have some of the youngsters back there, Ankit, Parth, some of the male folks also have come in. Good to see you. You learn, you stay relevant. Then a lot of people have said beautiful things, right? Be kind to yourself. Network, I think it's really, really important to build relationships. And then you have to have really staunch believers. When you're down and you're out and you don't believe in yourself, you have to have people to be able to call, whether it's your husband, close friends, your family. So all
someone
of this,
rooting for you.
Somebody that's always rooting for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Roshni, let me ask you, who are the women you want to acknowledge and share the spotlight with today?
I've got 2 women that I want to bring to the stage. One is Shanaz Bapuji. Shanaz and I worked way back in 2010. She used to be our brand services head on the Ogilvy team. But when I worked with Shanaz, what stood out is her ability to get into the details and her passion. I never felt like I was working with an agency partner. It was just a partner, pushing you, challenging you. Why aren't you doing it like this? Why aren't you doing this? So I think that's one. Passion exemplified. Second is the courage. After that, she went in very courageously, built a startup, Shopmatic, and now she mentors startups, So huge call out to Shanaz out there. The second lady I'd love to bring on stage, again, a little bit of commonality, engineer. Startups in her system, but then joined Intel. She's a returnee to Intel. She worked with me on my team, went back and came back. So Sumit, your thing about managers, I'll take it. But beautifully flourished, now chief of staff to the country manager at Intel. what I love about Aditi is just her beginner mindset. She is able to look at a problem, break it down, and in the world of technology, she simplifies it, she humanizes it. So agencies, partners, they love her. She comes in and everything else is so easy to understand. And the good thing about it is that then she goes and she shares that knowledge, right? So different mindsets.
Pass it on.
But thank
Absolutely. Well, that was a very nice sort of a little explanation on why these women matter to you. So let me invite up on stage Shehnaz Zubin Bapuji, the founder and CEO of Skyful, who brings over 30 years of marketing and brand building expertise. We also have with us Aditi Nanda, who is the Chief of Staff for Intel Sales and Marketing Group in India. Hello, ladies. Welcome to Share the Spotlight. And Shehnaz, of course, Roshni said some wonderful things. Let me ask you a little bit about, what has helped you in your journey, especially, with the sort of transitions you've made and the work that you do and partnering with several brands. What has helped you in your journey?
I think, like Roshni said, I am a very passionate individual. Very driven. I've never had to wait for people to tell me what to do. I've always wanted to do it on my own. That has its problems because that contagious energy can drive people up the wall, any sex. But what's kept me going really is self-belief and this whole idea that the world can be a better place. Leave your mark in whichever way you can. And in the process, be kind. A lot of leaders lack compassion. A lot of leaders lack kindness and the whole giving back piece that we've been speaking about. As a give back to Roshni gift, I do want to call out that as a leader, I've seen so many people. I've worked with CEOs, I've worked with founders. I continue to do so. I think one of the great promising things about Roshni is that she has her heart in the right place. And I've seen her have the heart in the right place, not only with the agency, but with the people she works with. We have so many conversations about so many things, and she's always conscious about her decisions and how it will impact a lot of, life in general. So, yeah, very happy to be in the spotlight today, talking about women, talking about people who are leaders and helping founders and everybody get on with life.
She's being very modest. She does beautiful work with startups. Okay, call out to her.
Yeah, thank you.
There's lots to take away from what you've said, of course, Shehnaz. But let me come to you, Aditi. You have a diverse background, across leading tech companies. How have you leveraged that background when it comes to driving innovation and growth, but also growth for yourself?
Sure, thanks, Dilshad. That's a great question. Thanks, Rosh, for sharing the spotlight, and thank you for inviting me. I'll start before I start. Yes, people leave managers, not organizations. But people come back for leaders, and that's embodiment of me. I've done that, come back to Intel for a great leader who helps not only just people thrive, not just strive, but also thrive. Right? So that's the kind of environment that she gives you. She really empowers you, makes it very easy for you to do your best. I think that's the testament to Rosh, and I'm being here is an example in front of you. So now, Dilshad, to your question on how my background in technology has helped me. So like Rosh mentioned at the beginning, breaking down problems into smaller bits. I think that really helps us. As a technologist, you see the problem for its bits, sum of total, so you see that. And then when you break it down to its lowest denominator, it's easy to kind of find the answer and move forward from there. So that's what I would say. And that's how I've grown.
Just one sort of note, Roshni, Aditi. Given that again, you're operating in a space that has traditionally been male-dominated. Any quick sort of advice we've heard previously about leaning in, being aggressive, sure. Say yes to opportunities. So a quick sort of takeaway for us on that?
Sure. So I think what I've heard a lot of women leaders talk about today is say yes, of course, say yes to all sorts of things that come your way. You learn on the way, I've said yes to engineering, I've said yes to marketing, I've said yes to coming back to Intel. After that, I think it is also ensuring that you bring the best version of yourself to work. And that leaves behind the gender part of it completely. So when you're giving your best at work, that's when you strive. There was a lady from Titan who talked about, really pulling up her sleeves and really doing the work, and that gave her the confidence. I think that's what it goes to. So that's what technology also. You give your best, you read, you learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's how you get forward.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you for that, Aditi, Shehnaz, of course, Roshni, who both these ladies have lovely things to say about you as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you.
Thanks, Anita.
Thank you.